On the last video I talked about how to form major sixth chords, and we said that we simply take a major triad and add the sixth note of the scale to that triad, and that makes a major sixth chord. And we can play it upside down, inverted, or we can break it up, whatever we want to do, but that's a major sixth. Now this time I like to talk about a minor sixth, and it's just as simple as a major sixth. You simply take a minor triad and add the sixth to it. So if you start out with C major, first you'd have to lower the third to make it minor, and then you'd add the sixth note of the scale, and that's a C minor sixth chord. Okay? So what would that mean on F? If this is the F major chord, and it is, how would you form a F minor sixth? Right, you'd lower the third a half step from A to A flat, and you'd add the sixth note of the F scale, which is D. Notice that the sixth note is always a whole step above the fifth note of the scale, not a half step. You got to go up a whole step. So that's F minor sixth. What would G minor sixth be? Well, we'd start with G major, and we go to G minor, and then we'd add the sixth note of that scale, and that's G minor sixth. Here's the D major chord. How would we make that a minor sixth? We'd lower the third, F sharp to F natural, and we'd add the sixth note of the D scale, namely B, and that's the D minor sixth chord. Here's the E major chord. How would we make that a minor sixth? Well, we'd lower the third a half step from G sharp to G natural, and we'd take the sixth note of the E scale. Now, what is the sixth note of the E scale? Is it C? No, because you always have to go a whole step above the fifth. So a whole step above B is C sharp. So that's E minor sixth. Okay? Here's the A major chord. How would we make that a minor sixth? Right, you lower the third half step and take the sixth note of the scale, which is F sharp. So that's A minor seventh. Here's D flat major. We'd lower the third a half step from F to F flat. Remember, you can't call it E, you got to call it F flat. And then we'd add the sixth note of the scale to that, which is B flat. Again, the sixth is a whole step above the fifth, so be very careful about that. The E flat major chord is like that. We'd lower the third from G to G flat, and we'd add the sixth note of the E flat scale, which is C. So that's E flat major sixth. A flat major is like that, so we'd lower the third from C to C flat. Looks like B, but we got to call it C flat, and if we wrote it on music, we'd write C with a flat in front of it. And then we take the sixth note of the A flat scale, which is F, and that gives us A flat minor chord. Here's the G flat major chord, which is all black keys. We lower the third from B flat to B double flat. Remember that? You can't call it A because you're flatting a flat, so it's B double flat. And then you take the sixth note of the scale, which is E flat, and that is G flat minor sixth. It's also inharmonic with F sharp minor sixth. Same sound, same notes, but it's written differently on paper. The B major chord is like that. We lower the third from D sharp to D natural and add the sixth note of the scale, which is there. And the B flat major chord is like that. We lower the third half step and we'd add the sixth note of the scale, which is G. So that's B flat minor sixth. So that's the 12 minor sixth chords. Let's do them real quickly once more, okay? We'll play the sixth and then the minor sixth, okay? C6, C minor sixth, F6, F minor sixth, G6, G minor sixth, D6, D minor sixth, E6, E minor sixth, A6, A minor sixth, D flat, D flat, I got a middle block, D flat minor, D flat 6, D flat minor 6, sorry about that, E flat 6, E flat minor 6, A flat 6, A flat minor 6, G flat 6, G flat minor 6, B6 and B minor 6, and B flat 6 and B flat minor 6. So that's all there is to minor sixth chords. Really quite simple once you understand. You have to understand triads first, don't you? Major, minor, diminished, and augmented, and then you add a sixth, and then you lower the third half step, and that's it. Okay, that's it for minor sixth, and I think next time we'll get into the seventh chords. There's several different kinds of seventh chords, and I want to cover them each individually. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.